Welcome to Power Held Accountable, the Covenant Accountability Masterclass from Anu Kingdom Ministry. This is the field manual in audio form for the covenant heir who refuses to accept that the only answer to abuse of power is silence or rage. There is a third response. It is documentation. It is filing. It is consequence. And the law, used with covenant discipline, is on your side. I'm your teacher. Pull up a chair. The circle is open. A brother walks out of a courthouse. He has just spent 12 hours in detention. The paperwork in his hand is incomplete. The officer who arrested him said something on the scene that he is now certain was untrue. And the only counsel he received from the only person he could reach was this: you should just let it go. He is exhausted. He is angry. He believes in this moment that the law belongs to the people who do this to him, not to him. He is wrong. And this series exists to teach him why. Welcome to the circle. This is episode 0 of Power Held Accountable, the Covenant Accountability Masterclass from Anu Kingdom Ministry. I'm your teacher, and over the next 41 episodes, we're going to walk together through the most operationally complete framework for civilian accountability work I've ever taught. This episode is the opening. We're going to talk about who this series is for. We're going to set the covenant frame. And we're going to put one foundational distinction in place. A distinction that, if you keep it, will protect your soul through every page of every episode that follows. Settle in, take notes if you want. But more than that, listen with the part of you that has already seen what we are about to discuss. This series is for the brother who has just stepped out of the courthouse and feels like the system ran over him. It is for the parent whose child was treated as a suspect rather than a citizen. It is for the family whose inheritance was eaten by a vindictive code enforcement campaign. For the cousin who took a plea 2 days before the speedy trial deadline because the public defender never returned a call. For the elder who was told the law was something done to her, not something she could participate in. And it is for the small but growing remnant who refused to accept that the only two responses to abuse of power are silence or rage. There is a third response. The whole reason this series exists is to teach that third response. It is not a feeling. It is not a posture. It is not a slogan. It is a practice, evidentiary, precise, disciplined. And we are going to put the practice in your hands episode by episode, week by week, until it becomes operational in your household. Hear me carefully. I am not promising you that the framework will reverse what has already been done to you. I am promising you that it will give you something to do that is more useful than rage and more honorable than silence. That is the offer. Take it or leave it. And one more thing. If you are listening to this series and you have not yet experienced any abuse of power directly, you are exactly who this series is also for. The covenant heir, prepared in advance, moves 5 times faster than the heir. Reading the framework for the first time during a crisis. Episode 0 is when you start. Accountability is for authority. The throne established in righteousness. Now I have to set the covenant frame, because if I do not set it now, you will misuse everything that comes after. Scripture does not invent the idea of accountability. Scripture establishes it. Mishlei 29:2 says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Mishlei says again that the throne is established in righteousness, and that it is an abomination for kings to commit wickedness. The throne in Scripture is not built for the comfort of those who sit on it. It is built to do justice. So when an officer of the state sworn to uphold the law breaks the law, what has happened? That officer has not merely violated a statute. That officer has departed from the purpose for which the office exists. Hear that again. The office of peace officer exists to uphold the law. When the peace officer breaks the law, the office itself is corrupted by the person occupying it, which means, and this is the move I want you to make with me, holding that officer accountable is not an act of rebellion against authority. It is an act for authority. It is an act of restoring the office to its lawful function against the corruption of it. When you file an internal affairs complaint against a dishonest deputy, you are not acting against the badge. You are defending the badge from the person who is dishonoring it. When you petition the Judicial Qualifications Commission against a biased judge, you are not undermining the bench. You are restoring the bench. When you send a Brady letter to a district attorney about a sworn officer who falsified a report, you are doing the work the system was designed to do, but has been too tired, too compromised, or too short-staffed to do for itself. This is covenant work. Approach it accordingly. Every episode that follows in this series rests on the frame we just put in place. If you remember nothing else from episode 0, remember this. Accountability work is for authority, against the corruption of it. There is a line in this work, and most secular activism crosses it constantly. The covenant heir cannot. The line is this: vengeance is personal. It wants the official to suffer. It measures success by the pain the official feels. It is loud, and it is hot, and it leaves its fingerprints on every filing. Accountability is structural. It wants the official removed from the position they have abused. It measures success by whether the office has been restored. It is disciplined, and it is cold, and it leaves a written record, not a viral video. The first poisons the soul of the one pursuing it. The second restores the office to its lawful purpose. The difference matters in court. It matters in writing. It matters in the tone of voice you use on the phone with the agency. And it matters in the eyes of the Most High. Romans 12:19 says it plainly. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith Yahuwah. The covenant heir does not chase vengeance because vengeance is not the covenant heir's office to occupy. The covenant heir chases accountability because accountability is the covenant heir's office. The office of every adult of sound mind in a constitutional republic with statutory pro se rights. Hear me on this. The goal of this series is not to make a dishonest officer suffer. The goal is to make a dishonest officer no longer be an officer. Read that one more time in your own head if you need to. The goal is not to make a dishonest officer suffer. The goal is to make a dishonest officer no longer be an officer. That is the line. We hold it together, episode by episode. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Mishle 29:2. Here's your assignment for this week. Get a notebook. A real one, paper and ink. Write at the top of the first page these words: Covenant Accountability Notes. Underneath, in your own handwriting, write the line we set today. Accountability work is for authority, against the corruption of it. The goal is to make a dishonest officer no longer be an officer. That notebook is going to walk with you through 41 more episodes. We are going to fill it with frameworks, checklists, drafted filings, and the names of people whose stories you have witnessed. By the end of the series, that notebook will be the operational heart of your covenant household's accountability practice. Start it today. Sign your name and date at the bottom. The discipline begins now. The circle is open. 41 more episodes wait. We are going to walk through the foundations, the documentation standard, the 5 tracks of officials, the 7 consequence weapons, the 10 real-life scenarios, the 10 filing templates, and the covenant sending. Episode by episode. Together. You were not given silence or rage as your only options. You were given the third response. And the law, used with covenant discipline, is on your side. Live in peace. Through all. Ace.